KCTS Seattle Spotlight Series. The Flying Karamazov Brothers host the stars of New Vaudeville. Producer Marianne Wallner, director Randy Brinson. This is a stereo mix. This is the left channel, and this is the right channel.
Gentlemen, it's time.
You mean?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes, I mean...
No, you don't mean.
No, I do mean.
You mean yes.
No, I mean no.
Don't you mean yes, I mean no?
No, I mean no, I mean no.
You don't mean it.
What do you mean?
Don't you know what he means?
Does he mean no, I don't mean?
No, I mean you mean yes.
I don't mean yes.
What do you mean?
I mean no, I do mean.
The Spotlight series is made possible in part by the subscribers of KCTS 9 and by a major grant from Puget Sound Bank.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, together again for the very first time anywhere in Seattle, Washington, the Flying Karamazov Brothers host Stars of New Vaudeville, featuring the fighting instruments of Karma Marching Chamber Band / Orchestra, with the musical musings of Sandy Bradley and the Small Wonder String Band, the astounding illusions of magical mystical Michael, the fire-breathing and sword-swallowing antics of Mose Wright, the inspirational balladeering of folk singer Faith Petrick, the world-renowned bubble magic of Tom Noddy, the evocative imagery of Imago, the tuneful charms of Girls Who Wear Glasses, and starring the Flying Karamazov Brothers.
The Flying Karamazov Brothers. Ho! Tonight, you'll be witness to an evening of new vaudeville, musical madness, and fun.
And just what is new vaudeville, I hear yourselves asking yourselves? Well, I'm glad you asked yourselves. New vaudeville is an old international tradition reborn. It is entertainment for everybody. It is the theater of everything, from the sublime to the stupid. other words, it's the theater of whatever you can get away with, and it's also the greatest thing since sliced rutabagas.
So sit back
Relax.
and keep your clappers at the ready, because what you're about to see is a showbiz legend. Every once in a lifetime, a musical group arises from the morass of mass media to take the world, if not Ballard, by storm. Today we have such a group, and this group has it all. Blonde bombshell, balding pates, cuddly freak genetic mutations. Here they are, the stars of Sandy Bradley's Potluck Radio, Sandy Bradley and the Small Wonder String Band.
After years of being skinny, I was stretching my self-image. My metabolism turned around, changed my line of scrimmage. The thought of shedding poundage left me feeling kind of grim. Then I remembered the younger days when people called me slim. So I'm doing the diet polka. Don't laugh, it's not a joke. I'm dreaming of almond roca while I'm doing the diet polka. They say it's good to watch your food, count your caloric intake, and more than that, cut out the fat. Don't slip and make a mistake. To change your size, get organized. But if you are dyslexic, you might add up the numbers wrong and wind up anorexic. So I'm doing the diet polka. Don't laugh, it's not a joke. I'm dreaming of almond roca while I'm doing the diet polka. I live to eat. I used to shout at every meal. Eat to live is what I'm saying now. Start today. You won't believe how good you feel. What to eat? Purina diet chow. So I'm doing the diet polka. Don't laugh, it's not a joke. I'm dreaming of almond roca while I'm doing the diet polka. Good diet can take care of things like chronic halitosis, reduce the risk of heart attack and arterial sclerosis. Just think of all the money that you'll save on every meal. You'll probably end up wealthy or improve your sex appeal. So I'm doing the diet polka. Don't laugh, it's not a joke. I'm dreaming of almond roca while I'm doing the diet polka. Hey!
Well, Greg, you look like the kind of guy who might not really have a plan for what he's going to be when he grows up.
You mean time's out?
Time's
up? Yeah.
That you're supposed to have picked it by now? No, not necessarily, but...
Darn it, I forgot to get a career. Yeah, when I was just a young boy, my mama said to me, don't you never put your wishbone where your backbone ought to be. Got no ambition. I got no ambition. I got no ambition, yeah. But that's what's wrong with me. Ambition, competition, never had it, there's no doubt. Guess I was busy napping when they were dishing it out. Got no ambition. I got no ambition. I got no ambition, yeah. But that's what's wrong with me. There's a bridge up ahead. I went to a seminar just the other night. Tried and set some goals, maybe make my life all right. Imagine my surprise when I see these other guys, and I'm the only fella there without a power tie. Okay, buddy. Well, I bought me a computer just to supplement my brain. The only thing I use it for is playing video games. Got no ambition. Oh, I got no ambition. I got no ambition. Come on, get down. That's what's wrong with me. I got no ambition. I got no ambition. I got no ambition. That's what's wrong with me.
To some people, magic is an occult practice producing miracles. To other people, it's a cheap trick. To us, it's a guy from the Bronx, lately from the Lower East Side of Colorado. Here he is, Magical Mystical Michael.
I've got here a red handkerchief. Now I take this handkerchief, I'm going to poke it in my hand, and in front of your eyes, it's going to vanish. You have to watch close. It's a great trick. Now, you see, you watch it too close, you see? It's already gone. So this time I'll take a little something different. I'll take it and I'll poke it in my hand. Great, watch. I'll give it a little squeeze like this. And I'll reach into the bottom. And it turns blue. Wait. I don't need your pity. I'll earn it. If I poke a little red down the top, you see, and I give it a little squeeze like that, and a little more, it continually turns. I know it's a little boring, but I'm almost done. I think it's pretty neat. You squeeze it, you pull it, and you poke it. See, you poke the red down, you give it a little squeeze. As you do it, it turns blue. See, if you... like that, it completely turns blue. So, I wouldn't kid you. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking right now that this guy is good. Now, you want to know how I do it. I'm a fair person. I'm going to explain a little secret to everybody. See right here? I've got a pocket in the palm of my hand. But really, when my hand's open, that pocket's tightly closed. But when I close my hand, that pocket, Well, let me show you. See, right here's the pocket. See, all you gotta do is close your hand, that pocket opens up. Now, if it opens up, that's where I keep my red handkerchief. Now, before I started, I took one of the handkerchiefs, the red or the blue, and I poked it into the pocket. That's the stuff that no one knows about. That's in the book. So you poke that in. So then you come out with the other color handkerchief, and you poke that on top. But you have to make sure that you poke the red in all the way, see, so it's not sticking out. It's important. So then you take the blue, and you poke the blue on top of the red. Take notes, I'm testing you. So then you reach in the bottom, and you pull out the red. See, you poke in the blue, and you squeeze it, and you pull out the red. Now, the squeezing part, that looks neat. It does nothing. See, you poke in the blue. Now, don't pull the red out too far. That spoils the whole effect. But if that happens, hey, stick it back up. Maybe no one's sorry. It's important to have a little blue and a lot of red. So it looks like it's changing, you know, or vice versa. You get the idea. And then you poke in, and you pull out. And when you're done, it's important to reach into that pocket here and pull out the blue handkerchief so it doesn't wrinkle, and you can do it again.
Our next performer is the third generation in what he does, and every time he comes on stage, I feel like he's risking my life and his at the same time. Please welcome Mose Wright.
Nothing like a band to warm up for you. Unfortunately, I still have to do the manual job myself. These are ancient arts originating thousands of years ago in Assyria and Babylonia, the hot spot of the Old Testament, if you remember it. Now, it hasn't taken a lot to keep these things warm over the years, you can imagine, but still, you haven't seen this around a lot, I bet. Well, largely due to the fact that most of my ilk tend to burn out rather early in their careers. Thanks. Probably due to a high content of cooked oils in the diet or some such, but you might be amused or educated to note that these same skills of manipulating hot air have been used for centuries by carnies and politicians alike to amuse the masses. Why are you complaining? I'm the one with fire in the mouth. That's okay. I'll test you later on empathy. Well, I have to ask your patience for just a moment as I set my wick, and then I'll be on with the show. Well, I can see you're warmed up. You can see I'm warmed up. Let me come directly to the point of the matter. If you've been wondering what the trick to sword swallowing is, it's really very simple. You see, there isn't one. The only trick to sword swallowing is quite literally in our minds. It's our acculturation, what we choose to believe reality to be, i.e., if you see something you really don't understand, you can explain it away as a trick, and thus sleep at night. You may be staying up later tonight anyway, but don't worry, this isn't my best gag. No. Have to keep them sterile. Are you ready? Well, there's cameras in the audience, you know. I'd hate to leave a negative impression. I will admit it does make my eyes water, but you know, it improves my posture wonderfully. Very quickly, I should say this. Yes, I do come from a circus family. If your parents, children, are wondering what you're going to do with the knives and the matches when you get home, or children, if you're wondering what your parents are going to do with the knives and matches when you get home, please remember, this is something I learned from someone who knows very well, not something to try by trial and error, or you don't have a deep bass voice later in life. But it is what I do for a living. It's how I bow, as it were, to the economic situations of the day. Kind of chokes me up. Very simply put, in this age, don't swallow everything you read, but read everything you swallow. And for God's sake, if you don't understand it, don't eat it. Thank you.
Don't touch that dial, because there's much more of our show still ahead, including Tom Noddy, the Bubble Guy, Faith Petrick, a special rendition of Teddy Bear's Picnic, and more of the Flying Karamazov Brothers. But first, we hope you'll support the great folks of KCTS, who support the great folks of New Vaudeville. Welcome back to the Flying Karamazov Brothers, host stars of New Vaudeville.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you about a little thing that we dig the most, jazz. Yo, guys!
Yo to yo too. Could you get that for me, Dimitri?
Pas de problème, mon cher.
Mercy buckets.
Shall we jazz?
Yeah. Let's do.
Now, I'm the Peter, and the Peter is like a jazz band drummer in the way that he sets the pace for the piece.
And we are the PDs. Now, the thing that I find most interesting about being the middle PD versus being an end PD is that just like the feeder, I'm passing too often to do much of anything else. So if a club should happen to drop on the ground, it's generally too far away, and I'm just too darn busy to pick it up. Gee, I can't quite reach that one. And of course, Dimitri over there is way too busy to get it.
This is true.
So we end up playing a little game that I like to call Pass the Buck. It goes something like this. First, I take a club from Dimitri without passing one to him, then he does the same thing to one of the end PDs, and suddenly everybody's juggling 3 except for that end PD. Oh, Ivan, would you mind getting that club for me?
Why, not at all, Smedjakov.
Thanks a lot, Ivan. I really appreciate it. Whoops, there's another one, Ivan.
Allow me.
Thanks a lot. That's very nice of you. Oh, Theodore, could you get that? Thank you. Oh, Ivan.
Sure.
I could do this all day. I like being the middle PD, and Pass the Buck is my favorite game. Oh, Ivan.
No, stop that!
Sorry. I guess the buck doesn't go as far as it used to.
Now, the thing that I like about being an NPD is that one has the time to execute prolonged, carefully choreographed maneuvers and to take pleasure in the way that every minutest detail slips into place like the well-oiled gears of a fine Swiss Army knife.
Or to do what we in the profession call showing off.
Well, I never.
Not that you haven't tried.
Now, just
Why, you?
I ought to.
You think? Hold it right!
Boys, wait a minute. You're both right. It's a candy mint and a breath mint. What? Huh? Maybe I got that wrong.
Maybe.
It's a laundry detergent and a laxative?
Nope.
Maybe it's
Forget it, Jake.
It's Chinatown.
I thought it was jazz.
Well, that too. Let's throw some. Now, there's a couple of things you ought to know about this. One is that none of us has any idea what any of the others are going to throw.
Or what they did before the show.
The other thing to keep in mind is that if a club does happen to go out into the audience, please just leave it where it lands.
In the wound.
Igor, please! Sorry, you bad boy!
You see, we're supposed to play them where they lay. It's like golf.
With Gerald Ford.
He's that guy who got hit with the chair on the TV show, right?
That was Geraldo.
I'm still juggling.
So what are we doing? Top level?
Could be.
anything while you're out? I'm still not juggling.
I've never seen him do that before.
You've never seen me not juggling before? Excuse me. What? Oh, Yvonne. Would you mind one tiny last little bit of buck passing?
All right, just this one.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate
But the buck stops here. Used to be that in every tribe there was a keeper of legend and song. Well, that tradition has sadly all but disappeared. Our next artist is a keeper of the lore. She knows more songs than there are angels that can dance on a pinhead. Here she is, our own ministering spirit of minstrelsy, Faith Petrick.
By very special request, I'm going to do a song for families, specifically for the younger generation and their relationships with mothers. There are pirates in their fetid galleons, daggers in their skivvies, with infected tattooed fingers on a blunderbuss or two, signs of scurvy in their eyes, and only mermaids on their minds. It's from them I would expect to hear the F word, not from you. We sit down to have a chat. It's F word this and F word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use that F word with your mother. There are lumberjacks from Kodiak vacationing in Anchorage, enchanted with their pine tar soap and caribou shampoo, with 7 weeks of back pay in their aromatic woolens. It's from them I would expect to hear the F word, not from you. We sit down to have a chat. F word this and F word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use that F word with your mother. There are jocks who think that God himself is drooling in the bleachers in a cold November downpour with a belly full of brew, whose entire grasp of heaven has a lot to do with football. It's from them I would expect to hear the F word, not from you. Together we sit down and have a chat. It's F word this and F word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use that F word with your mother. There's unsavory musicians with their dreadful pinko lyrics who destroy the social fabric and enjoy it while they do. With their groupies and addictions and their poor heartbroken parents. From them, I would expect to hear the F word, not from you. Oh, we stand have a chat. F word this and F word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use that F word with your mother. There were aging politicians who were scheming in the White House, throwing darts around the globe to see where they would next intrude. With their missiles and their Star Wars and their drugs and secret missions. We never heard the F word come from them, but we got screwed. F word this and F word that. I can't control how you young people talk to one another, but I don't want to hear you use the F word with your mother.
Tom Noddy is a longtime friend, and it's a great pleasure for me to be introducing him now. I was wondering exactly what I should say in introducing him, and I could talk about his being on The Tonight Show or all the Argentinian TV shows he's done that you may have seen. But it didn't strike me as quite the tack to take, so I thought I'd take out my classic Webster's 19th New Collegiate Dictionary and look up his name. This is quite the wonderful dictionary here. It has all the swear words in it, by the way. We'll look up the F word later, but first we'll finish the intro here. And I looked up his name, and Noddy turned out to be any of several stout-bodied terns of warm seas. And it wasn't quite what I was looking for somehow. So I then took the liberty of looking up Bubbles, which of course is what he works with. Does quite a bit of magic with them. And I got several definitions there. Under noun, there was a globule of gas within a thin film of liquid. And I thought we were getting closer, but not quite nailing it on the head yet. And so under the second definition of noun, there was something that lacks firmness, solidity, or reality. And here I thought we were getting close. He's not really quite real somehow. There's a certain unreality to what he does. And then I looked up under verb for Bubbles, and came out to be to become lively or effervescent, as in bubbling with good humor. And here I thought we got much closer. Then I looked up magic, which is what he does with the bubbles, and it said something that seems to cast a spell, enchantments. And there I think we hit the nail on the head. So, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the man with the nicest mustache in the business, Tom Noddy, and his bubble magic.
Right, thank you. So, my name is Tom. What I do is called bubble magic, okay? I'll tell you what I do. I put bubbles inside of bubbles, smoke bubbles, clear bubbles inside of smoke bubbles inside of clear bubbles, inside-out bubbles, yin-yang bubbles, caterpillar bubbles, love bubbles, and a bubble cube. And the yin-yang bubble is a double bubble, a smoke bubble, and a clear bubble, and a smoke bubble, and a smoke bubble, and a clear bubble. It's my most difficult trick to say. That's a nuclear bubble. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. No accidents are possible with nuclear, right? We can just play with this stuff. Whee! It's no danger. Oops. It's okay, it was human error. Don't worry, if we have accidents, we have backup systems. Back up, everybody, back up! All they figured out so far. See, let me show you the caterpillar bubble. That's a caterpillar. You can tell, you see his antenna here at the top? You guys can dance, so you all seen break dance, right? Caterpillar doing the worm. Let me show you bubbles inside a bubble. I should mention, what you're seeing here today is the product of 17 years of playing with bubbles almost every day. Actually, it's 18 years. That's right, y'all been doing other things for 17 years? I've been busy. Imagine my father. Oh, great. First the long hair, now the bubbles, right? It's okay now. He saw me on Carson. Let me show you, this is a good one for the Northwest. I'll show you the Mount St. Helens bubble. I actually watched Mount St. Helens erupting 8 and 9 years ago. I was hitchhiking up to Seattle at the time. Show you what it looked like. It started with an earthquake. And there was an eruption. Terrible. There were ashes all over Oregon, Washington, Idaho. All right, I'll show you the inside-out bubble. Now, the inside-out bubble is a cheap trick. Okay? Remember I warned you about this. So you start with an ordinary bubble like that. And if you take this one back into here like that, and you turn this around. I only have a couple of cheap tricks. Let's get them out of the way. Here's another one. Nose bubbles. Hey! Let's see. It's okay. That one only tastes bad the first couple of years. Acquired taste. This next one I demonstrated one time in a mathematics lecture. The lecture was called Soap Film, Beer Bubbles, and Fluid Mechanics, Major Challenges in the History of Mathematics. A friend of mine was a physics major. I told him I was going to do a bubble cube. He thought about that and he said, no, Tom, you don't understand physics. He said, bubbles are minimal surface structures. They always pull into the most economical shape, which is a sphere. Therefore, he said, no, a cube would be impossible. Well, he was a physics major, but he had an incomplete understanding of physics, which many of us have. Even Einstein, you know Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared? Einstein said that might turn out to be a local phenomenon. All right, Einstein and Vaudeville, huh? I'm getting a few laughs, too. But the physics major told me a bubble cube would be impossible. Nothing's impossible. Don't listen to the physics majors until you've also checked with the vaudevillians, okay? Let me show you one more. This is the carousel bubble.
Fear not, ladies and gentlemen. The unbelievably extravagant climatic final end of our show is still to come. Stay tuned for Imago. Girls who wear glasses. And even more, can it be true, of the Flying Karamazov brothers in a thrilling, heartwarming, and death-defying finale. But first, a word from the folks who deal with the death-defying world of public television. Welcome to Act 3 of the Flying Karamazov Brothers, host stars of New Vaudeville.
This next group is a group that's toured the world. In fact, we have two of the founders of the group. The rest of the members are still touring the world even as we speak. The group is called Imago, and there's a joke I keep wanting to tell about the fact that they do adult humor, which would be funny if you understood the fact that imagos are the adult forms of insects as opposed to larvae and pupae. So it's funny to all the entomologists in the audience, right? And good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Imago.
loved that. You're going to love the next thing that's coming on, too. There are two great women, girls who wear glasses.
Nice evening.
Yep.
Nice audience.
Real bright.
Gone fishing. There's a sign up on his door. Gone fishing. He ain't working anymore. There's this hole out in the sun where he left a road half done. He said, oh, it ain't no fun. Well, he ain't got no ambition. Gone fishing by a shady waiting pool. I'm wishing I could be that kind of fool. I'd say no more work for mine. On my door I hang a sign. Gone fishing instead of just a wishing.
This next song, instead of seeing us as girls who wear glasses, I'd like for all of you to imagine us as a girl who wears glasses. That is to say, two halves of the same woman caught in a horrible romantic predicament.
The name of the song is Schizophrenic Love Song. It's written by my partner here, Rebo Flordigan, formerly of the Minneapolis band Rabid Rebo and the Boys Without Shots.
I hung around when you left town, trying to get my act down. There was a drag talking to you on the telephone. I couldn't stand to be alone. I'm sending you a photograph, baby, of me having fun without you when I'm not thinking about you. You spoiled me rotten, but soon you'll be forgotten. Who needs you anyway? I don't want to hold you in my arms anymore. You've given me your heart, what's it for? Everything about you is so. I will miss you when you're not around. Please don't call when you get into town. Sorry for hurting, but here's the curtain for you.
I hung around when you left town. Couldn't get my heart unwound. You know, everywhere I looked, I saw your face. Dreamt about your warm embrace. Sending you a photograph, baby, of what I'm gonna look like when you walk back through my door. Arms open wide, completely starry-eyed, and a smile that you ain't never seen before. I can't wait to hold you in my arms again. You've given me your heart. Give me more. Everything about you is so wonderful. How I long for you when you're not around. I'll be here when you get back to town. No hesitating, 'cause I'll be waiting for you.
I hung around when you left town.
Couldn't get my heart unwound. No, everywhere I looked,
there was a drag on the phone when I
dreamt about your warm embrace. I'm sending you a photograph, baby, of what you'll see when you look at me. I'm loving wide,
but I'll forget
so
you.
starry-eyed.
Who needs you
I'll never
anyway?
go away.
I don't want
I can't wait to hold you in my arms
anymore.
again. You've given me your heart. For everything about you is so wonderful. get back to town. Don't hesitate,
But here's the curtain.
'cause I'll be waiting for you.
I don't want
I can't wait to hold you in my arms
anymore.
again. You've given me your heart. Give me more. Everything about you is so wonderful.
I don't miss
how I long for you when you're not around. I'll be here when you get back to town. Don't hesitate,
But here's the curtain.
'cause I'll be waiting for you, for you, for you,
So romantic.
for you. I really don't want to
For you, why don't we give it a
for you.
try?
My heart is ready to
For you,
pour.
it ain't too heavy to
For you,
try.
let's take it right from the top. You know this love affair is gonna drive me absolutely crazy.
Old Vaudeville died when the big names, the headliners, left the vaudeville theaters to go to Hollywood and make films. We've been so far more fortunate in New Vaudeville. The headliners of this show have been on film, they've been on Broadway, they've been on TV. In fact, they're probably on something right now. But they've continued to find ways to bring the vaudevillians back together. The Chautauqua tour that we do every summer, these variety shows. For that, I thank them, and I want you to join me in welcoming the Flying Karamazov Brothers.
Gentlemen, it's time.
You mean?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes. I mean...
No, you don't mean.
No, I do mean.
You mean yes.
No, I mean no.
Don't you mean yes, I mean no?
No, I mean no, I mean no.
You don't mean it.
What do you mean?
Don't you know what he means?
Does he mean no, I don't mean?
No, I mean you mean yes.
I don't mean yes.
What do you mean?
I mean no, I do mean.
You mean yes.
No, I mean no.
You're mean.
What do you mean?
You know.
You mean me?
No. No.
What?
No.
No, what?
No, I don't.
What? I don't know.
Ha ha! Got him again.
That's another quarter, you know what? Yeah, but I'll get you next time. And speaking of time, gentlemen, it's time.
You mean?
No, we're not going to go through that one again. Time for part one.